Hey everyone, this is Steven.
And this is Scooby. Welcome to yet another episode of The Feedback, where Steven and I choose a song, well, one of us chooses a song, and we play it, and we listen to it, and we talk about it. That's the gist of this podcast so far. I think it can't get much simpler than that, right?
No, you're absolutely correct. We find random stuff, we have fun together, and we get lost along the way. I think that's one of the most important facts that we need to touch on all the time is that we like to go off on tangents. And I'm gonna bring the song in today. So, as you know, most of the time we try to completely be blind to the other person so that they don't know what song's coming at all. They have no preconceived notions, but we are going to be doing this, as we often say. We're probably going to end up doing this in chronological order. And the last episode, as of today's recording, that we had done was Knower, Everything All at Once.
That's the
Was
movie.
that the correct? Everything Everywhere All at Once is the name of the movie, and it kept reminding me of that.
The song was
It's
It's
all
All
nothing.
Nothing Until It's Everything. Yes.
That's what it is. It's all nothing until it's everything. But I remember Knower.
Yeah.
So when we were listening to that song together, one of the parts that they highlighted was the skill set of the pianist, and he had a synthesizer there. And I said that it reminded me of Mates of State, so I told Scoobs about it later on. He has no knowledge of Mates of State, which I think we covered in the podcast. If not, we discussed it later. So I told him, okay, well, don't go around trying to listen to them now because I'm going to bring them to the next recording. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
So, today we're going to listen to a song by Mates of State. The song is called Ha Ha. It is off their third album, which is called Team Boo. It released in 2003. There were 12 tracks total. This is the third album by them, I said? Yeah, I did say that. They're indie rock. This album is an alternative album. We're listening to the first song off of it. The band is made up of two members. It is Corey Gardner and Jason Hamill. They met in 97. They've been making music together as of then. And they are both married to each other as of 99, I think? Maybe sooner? I saw it and now I lost it and I can't remember. Corey Gardner does vocals, organ, synthesizer, piano, electric piano, occasionally guitar and drums, not guitar. And Jason Hamill does vocals, drums, percussion, and occasionally he will do the synthesizer as well. This is a fun album. This is a fun band too. This is definitely a hard left from most of what I've been picking as songs in general. I mean, I don't think anything I've picked so far has been very pop. This is also listed, band is listed as indie pop. To go ahead and prove how polar opposite / hard left that you want to say that they are, of the bands that I've picked and really talked the most about between, all the different emo bands and all the different hardcore bands that I probably will bring up later too, the mantra of this band is love loud, don't lose loud.
Okay.
And if anything resonates with you from anything that we've been listening to for the first couple episodes that were very emo, they also lose very, very, very loud. Way louder than they love sometimes. Yeah, I think that's a good enough introduction. I don't want to go too much into anything else right now. Do you have anything that you are curious about or you would like to add before we start the song today?
This will be interesting to me just because, despite you telling me the artist, the song, and all that, I know nothing about them. I like to think that I have a fairly wide music knowledge, but this is going to be completely new to me. I'm also interested to see, you said that this is a hard left from most of the things you've picked. I mean, in terms of pop, really, the closest you've gotten to pop, or maybe even like both of us have really gotten, is Fall Out Boy. Maybe our very first episode that may not ever see the light of day.
or even half of Dance Haley Dance,
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that one.
because we did have Paramore in here for that. But yeah, I would agree. I think of anything else, maybe no. I would say some of Childish Gambino's newer stuff would be more pop, but I don't think. Yeah,
No, My Shine, not. I mean, you could
My
argue
Shine's
maybe
not.
the chorus, like the hook, but
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well then, I think I've shared both the lyrics and I know you said you're already ready to go on the video.
yes, sir.
So, without further to do, here is "Ha Ha" by Mates of State off of Team Boo.
I can't tell what kind of life I've led today. All that's known is what's debatable again. Oh, I can't see where you are. We're not to blame. I can't see the dark where is the problem? We're not to blame. I can't tell what kind of life I've led today. All that's known is what's debatable again. And I imagine I will see you there. You will have long flowers in your hair. I imagine I will see you there. This is the blood that we're made of. So tell it like a chronicle. Who's dancing all around? Let's give it to me, give it to me now. We're dancing all around. Let's give it to me, give it to me now. And I imagine I will see you there. You will have long flowers in your hair. The telegram said, are you gonna come our way home? I imagine I will see you there. Can't you hear the laughter in the air? The telegram said, are you gonna come our way home? And I imagine I will see you there. I know it's stout, but it's shallow and not the telegram said, and rejuvenated your heart, boy. This is the blood that we're made of. Go tell it like a chronicle. Who's dancing all around? Let's give it to me, give it to me now. We're dancing all around. Let's give it to me, give it to me now. We're dancing all around. Let's give it to me, give it to me now. We're dancing all around. Let's give it to me, give it to me now.
All right. So, any first thoughts?
I feel like this is something that I say a lot with a lot of the songs we pick, but this, again, really feels like a product of its time. And that's not a
Yeah.
criticism. Like, this is a song from 2003. It feels very 2003 indie. Between the style of the music, just that sort of, I don't want to say unhinged, but almost chaotic. Like, there's just a lot going on, and it doesn't feel particularly well controlled. They know what they're doing, they're playing the instruments well, but it's not that sort of syncopated, polished, clean sound. It's very all over the place in a controlled manner. And
Yeah.
it reminded me of a band. Oh, what's it? I think the band was called. It was Blueberry something, but the song itself was called Quaker, spelled, or maybe it's Keeker. But it's like a 10-minute long song that just goes all over the place. And I think a lot of it had to do with I have that association where you had the synthesizer from the Nowhere track reminded you of this. The piano in this reminds me of that track. But
That's fun.
it really feels like, oh yeah, this is a early 2000s indie song. Even the music video, which we watched, this song did have a video. Same thing. I was like, this is such an indie music video as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that I would agree with that. I think one thing that should be said too is that if you listen to more of their songs later on, this sound and this kind of feeling kind of grows into this by this album. I would say that like 2003 for this album, and then their next one was 2006, which was this was Team Boo, and I think the other one was self-titled. No, it wasn't. It was Bring It Back. I apologize. 2006 was Bring It Back. I think that was kind of like the peak of their sound, where they kind of like fell into who they sounded like. I think 2006 or the 2006 album Bring It Back has a lot of good songs on it right from the start that sound as equally as chaotic, but even more so well polished. So I feel like even a song later on this album is called oh, that's the next album. I apologize. It's called Experiment, where they're kind of they're even saying flat out like we're still learning stuff. We're still trying to figure out what our sound is. I think it was fun that they had a song called Experiment. It sounds almost somewhat similar, but also not similar at all to what's going on with the rest of the stuff they have. So I think that's something that would be fun to listen to together. It is on this one. It's called An Experiment. It's track 9. But I think that's a really good song as well. That would be fun to listen to together. And it shows kind of like more stuff that reminded me even further of Nowhere, or at least the track that we listened to, I should say, because I did not listen more to more Nowhere yet. But the track that we listened to together kind of has that same thing that you described before, where they know what they're doing. They're clearly putting their instruments together the way they want to, but like some parts don't feel like they're on time, even though they very much are.
Yeah.
So the music video, like you said, was a lot of fun to watch. It's just it's very indie. Like, it's just the two of them. It's very like cutting room floor done. Like they're just dancing around. They're changing outfits at the end. They're just dancing around in their underwear. Like
it's very like it's giving manic pixie dream girl vibes,
which the song does too.
The song does too, but the video is just like, oh, we're just two fun people dancing along to this silly song and just having a good time, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the general music's vibe as well, that like they're kind of going for, which I think is a lot of fun, because they definitely encapsulate that feeling. And just to go back to love loud, don't lose loud, right?
Yep.
Have a bunch of fun, live his life as hard as you can in the moment. When it's over, it's over. Just keep moving forward.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I don't know what bands they were in prior to this, but there was something that I was reading before that mentioned that they were in a bunch of bands before, and things weren't really figuring themselves out until they realized that it was easier for just the two of them to do it together. But then they know that they were challenged with, they actually did a Ask Me Anything on Reddit at one point. This was back in like, I want to say late aughts, early teens, early tens, I should say, not teens, early tens, which was actually around the time of their last album. And they were talking about the difficulties of being the two-person band and how they're going to make a sound that had more to it. Because I can see how that would be a problem as a two-piece, especially because they weren't like, I don't even know what you would consider a traditional two-piece.
The White Stripes.
But I don't normally...
Right? Like, that's kind of the band that jumps to mind when you think of a two-piece. Or,
yes.
Or the Black Keys, ironically enough. Or coincidentally enough, I should say.
I think it's fun that actually happened that way.
Yeah.
But no, also, I agree with that. Those are definitely two good points. These two are going with more of like the synthesizer orchestra kind of sounds, a little bit of drumming because you still need the percussion, so that's still there too. But one of the ways that they fight that is doing the group vocals, and then also doing like the singing over each other, where he sings one part and she sings a different part at the exact same time. And that's one reason why I wanted to make sure I shared the lyrics with you and you looked at them, because the first time you listen to that song and you have two people singing at the exact same time and they're singing very different parts, it's like, what's going on? What are we talking about again?
Right.
So I would suggest anybody else that's at home listening to go ahead and give it a second listen with lyrics out for that reason, and maybe check out the music video too, because like we mentioned, it does exist. I wouldn't necessarily say you're missing a lot if you don't go out of your way to do it, but it's still fun to experience it and have that other view of what they did and how they were feeling. And again, like he was saying, like Scoop said earlier, I was going to say he was saying, why am I? Like Scoop said earlier, it has that manic, all over the place funness. Another thing that's fun for me about this, that'll tie back to Nowhere as well, is that one thing you mentioned with Nowhere's songs is that sometimes they're very tongue-in-cheek and they don't really have very much meaning to them, other than just being really well-written lyrics about nothing, I guess you could say, or maybe about something, but not a specific something.
Right.
More of a generic something. This is the same feeling. The lyrics are kind of going all over the place, right? They're talking about this thing and then the other thing. A lot of stuff is like, one of the lines is, "This is the blood that we're made of, so tell it like a chronicle." But like, what part of that, as like, because you know what I mean? Like that could sound way more deep and brooding than any other part of the song at all, including like the chord progression, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how much of this all goes together with everything else and how much of it has a story or a meaning, because another song that's on this album, Parachutes, and it's also in parentheses as funeral song. It's a very beautiful song, and it has a it has a lot of meaning to it that you might not know listening to it or hearing from it. But it was on the Ask Me Anything that I saw a few years ago, and I looked everything back up again to kind of find some stuff to see if there's anything about Ha Ha, considering all the stuff that was on there. And I couldn't find it, but I did find about the story about Parachutes again. And Parachutes is actually a song about a couple who recently got married, and they were on their 1,000th skydiving trip together.
Wow.
And the woman's chute failed. So they detached themselves, knowing that they couldn't save each other and that he would die trying to save her. And she pulled the chute, or she pulled the detached cord herself, and as she was falling, she waved goodbye to her recent husband as he pulled the cord to use his chute.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, if you listen to it for the first time not knowing that, it's definitely more somber, but still, like, when you have a synthesizer and like this kind of everything else that's going on with this band, the general mood of this band, I should say, I guess, like this song that we just listened to, Ha Ha, almost has like those Funhouse vibes when it gets into that like like that kind of feels like you're running around, things are going crazy, wild. You don't associate that with something like what Parachutes is written about, right? Like,
Right.
So I'm kind of curious, is there more to this song? Because like you said, it's a product of the time, and it came out at 2003, and one of the lyrics were, the Taliban said, "Who rejuvenated your eyes, boy?" So now I'm kind of like, what was going on around then, besides the obvious war that was happening with the Taliban? Like, what could that have been in relationship to? Because then they call back again to that sign of the lyric, like, "This is the blood that we're made of, go tell it like a chronicle." Because that lyric was used before, but like the lyric before it, or the line before it was, "You'll have long flowers in your hair, I imagine I'll see you there." And then "Who's dancing all around?" So again, like, it's the more fun side of it. So there's even like a heads and a tails to this song, which is fun. Maybe not fun, but interesting is probably a better word for it.
Yeah. This is. I don't know how this would really work. It's something interesting to think about, though. Like, you sent me the lyrics to this song before I heard the song. And you told me that the artist, it's an indie band. But reading the lyrics, this could easily be seen, and I can imagine this being a somber song. Just reading the lyrics without any sort of context to it, any sort of musical context. Because the lyrics themselves are pretty somber. Like
Yeah.
a line that says, "I can't tell what kind of life I've led today. All that's known is what's debatable again."
Yeah.
Like, that's the sort of line that you would read, or I would read and think, I know that feeling where you have those days where it's like, I don't even know what I did today, man. Did I do anything good? Did I bring anything of value to the world today?
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
listen to the
absolutely.
song itself and you're like, ooh, this is like so. Yeah, it's a happy sounding song. It's got that happy manic quality to it. And I wonder if that is part of what they're getting across. Like I said, it's that sort of manic sound, that almost deliriously happy sound where it's like,
Hmm.
is this too far in that direction to where it's the point where it's a parody? I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, but I could see that where it's like that sort of fake it till you make it mentality. Like, I'm happy, I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when I think parody, sometimes I think more of like, whether it's making fun of itself or making fun of the genre, right? And maybe it's not. And yeah, if you don't mean it in that way, let me know. And maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but to me, like I could see what you're saying, and I definitely agree with where that viewpoint could be with exactly what you just said. And I think that it's correct, but maybe in a different way, where it's like it's very telling of where it's at. Like they're aware of it. Other people are singing these songs, and they're like they're living that life. They're calling it out, and like be more aware of who we actually are, and we don't want to like overshadow that. Maybe
Yeah.
did I use that, or was I correct or incorrect with parody? Like, did I misinterpret your use of it?
I don't think so. I think what I was trying to get across, I don't know if even parody is the right word for what I'm thinking.
Maybe not.
Um,
Maybe that's where I got confused too, where I got too focused on that too.
yeah.
But no, I would agree. I think we're on the same page anyway, where
Yeah.
it's they're being very to the point with who they are.
Yes.
They're not trying to hide it. Yeah. One quote from an NPR article that I want to make. The person was Stephen Thompson, and he wrote it in 2011. So I'm gonna guess it was right around when their most recent album had been released. They actually have a new single out as of 2024. I have not listened to much of them past 2006. Before I get back to that quote, I will get back to that, I promise. I wanted to say this song is the first song that I heard by them as well, which is why I wanted to share it today. I forgot to mention it earlier. I didn't want to forget again, so I want to say it now, which is one reason why I put it on. And I actually listened to that, Winer's Bio, and Parachutes. Those are the first three songs that someone showed me from this band, and they're all off of Team Boo. I think that way that I listened to them was interesting way to find them and then want to listen to more. You don't necessarily have to do that yourselves, anyone listening, but maybe you'll find interest in those three as well, and then maybe you'll want to explore more. Maybe you won't. Who knows? But the quote about the band that I think does a pretty good job talking about their sound and stuff like that, and kind of like what they're trying to make happen. This is from Stephen Thompson again, by the way, from NPR. Corey Gander and Jason Hamill speak a shared language in Mates of State, the effervescent pop band they share as a married couple with children. Alternatively sung enchanted, often in unison, their words represent the sounds of infectious joy, the irony-free expression of a love that's as true as it is hard-won. So I think going back to what we were just trying to like talk about and try to figure out where they are, I think that helps kind of see, like, it says straight out that they're trying to be irony free with the expression of love. But I mean, I can't say that's for sure with everything that they've ever said ever, because there's too much, like we just discussed, with things that are like, I don't know. The quote that you made yourself, I can't tell what kind of life I've led today. Like, what? You're going to try to tell me that everything they do is irony free expression of a love?
Yeah.
It's not true, sir. But also, their general sound, and that's the sound that you hear in kind of what we were talking about before, where it has that that manic pixie sound, um, that very pop, synthy pop, right? It has that sound of that. So when they do talk about love, which I mean, a lot of the other songs will have more notes of that, and they talk about, I mean, they talked about the relationship and how much they loved each other, doing 1,000 shoots together, right? They did 1,000 jumps together. Like, that's a big love. And they lost it just as big as they had it. So that definitely resonates with the message that they're saying. So maybe that's like, maybe that's what they mean more, is that their general message is about that, but maybe not each individual song. Because as much as it's true with the sound, and which is why I want to bring that quote in, I want to make sure that I also brought it in for the exact same reason that you said, is that when you do a deep dive and kind of really look at those lyrics, and you look at them with no notice or notion of how they're actually sung, because there's the parts where that line, that, or the second line they sing right after it, oh, I can't see where you are, where is the problem, squared off, all bother, we're not to blame. So that's being sung at the exact same time. Where, oh, I can't see where you are, where is the problem, is being sung by Corey, and squared off, all bother, we're not to blame, is being sung by Jason. And then it does the exact same thing again, and I can't see the darker wood, squared off, all bother, where is the problem, we're not to blame. So like, they're butting heads in the middle of the conversation, and they're about trying to figure out what's happening. But like, if you're reading this and you're thinking that it's one singer singing this, it doesn't sound nearly as bubbly and loving as the music notes. So I don't know. There's way more irony just in that alone, in the message and the song that's being played, than anything else in the entire album. So
Yeah. And like further to that point, just talking again about reading the lyrics without hearing the song, like I reading these lyrics, I'm like, this could be like a Bon Iver song. Bon Iver, however you pronounce Justin Vernon's band. That's just him anyways. But
I did the same thing. I always say Bon Iver because I don't care. But when I did
I'm
it
from
once near a fan,
Alabama. Bon Iver.
we're gonna get so much hate for that, and I don't even care.
Whatever. He's a great
Literally a
artist.
fan.
I don't know how to pronounce his band.
There we go. That's the best way to go about it, because I said Bon Iver before, and it's Bon Iver. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Bon Iver. It's French.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
But
I agree.
Justin Vernon. But yeah, listen, just reading the lyrics, I'm like, I could hear him doing this, lyrically speaking.
Oh, absolutely.
And I also wanted to say that from that quote that you pulled from NPR, I love, and this is the English nerd in me coming out, that he used the word effervescent. I was like, damn, that's a good word to describe them.
Right?
Because
And that's why I brought it.
just bubbly. And, speaking about how deliriously happy the music itself sounds, bubbly is also a perfect word that
Yeah.
gets across the vibe.
Honestly, you might not hear this at Sunday brunch, but this is probably the crowd that it would be playing for, is that Sunday brunch crowd.
Yeah, like 4 mimosas in or something.
This is the band that's playing at a park near you after you went to girls brunch at 11 o'clock, and they are just playing like a spring concert in a park because it's a nice day and you walk up to them and you're like, yes! You'd be thrilled. I'd be one of you. Don't think I'm shit talking right now. Let me put that plainly out in there in the air. I would be thrilled to be 2 mimosas in and walk into this kind of a concert. I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, this is gonna be a good day.
I'd be like, I can't dance yet. I just ate 3 eggs Benedict and I will barf everywhere. But I'm digging the vibe.
Hey, the mimosas will get you moving whether you want to or not.
I am not a man who should be dancing, especially not to music like this.
Okay, I'll still encourage it though.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Mates of State is a band that you guys should go check out. Check it out however you'd like to. Keep in mind, this sound is definitely theirs from beginning to end. The earlier albums is just... So I will say this. I like all of them. I'm not saying anything poorly about them when I say this, but I would say that as you go through the Mates of State catalog, it's just from what I've heard to what I know now. So 2000 was my solo project. 2002 was Our Constant Concern. 2003, Team Boo. 2006, Bring It Back. Those 4 albums, it sounds like my solo project is them starting out this sound, and Bring It Back is them kind of having it set in stone and figured out. I never listened to anything beyond that. And there are 3 more albums that came out. It's Rearrange Us in 2008, Crushes in 2010, and Mountaintops in 2011. They have a bunch of singles. Actually, they only have 5 singles. I thought they had more. They have one in 2003, These Days, 2004, All Day. They have a remixes in 2009. Another single 2015, You're Going to Make It. And then their newest one that just came out was Somewhere. And that just came out this last year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So they kind of took a break. So they had an album 2008, 2010, and 2011. And they had a single at 2009. So they kind of were putting out music almost every single year, year after year. And then there's a 4-year break between Mountaintops and the You're Going to Make It EP. And that EP has 5 total songs on it. One of them is one of their self-titled favorites of Beautiful Kids. They said if you ever see them playing live and you see them and you shout out that song, they'll be thrilled to play that song. But yeah, so it kind of felt like they weren't going to be making music for a little while there. And then maybe they're coming back out now. I mean, they are parents, so I can imagine there became a time where they kind of focused just on the kids for a little while. And then they started to make a little bit more music again. And then they took a 9-year break and then let out a single. So maybe there's more to come soon. Who knows? We are getting close to a year on that single coming out, though. So who knows? Who knows what's next? Yeah, I think that about does it for this episode of on Mates of State. Haha. If you liked what you heard, or you liked what you heard in other episodes, or you're looking forward to hearing more about us, share with your friends too. Tell your friends about us. We're now made as of today, or as of earlier this week, but we will be on Facebook, Instagram, we will be on X, and we will be on Blue Sky. So look for us there. We will be coming to other ones later. I think there's a few that we have to be mindful of, right, Scoops? You were talking about a few things.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out.
But yeah, tell a friend about us. Listen to us again with somebody new. Share, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you liked.
I'd also like to point out, just because it was bothering me almost the entire episode, the song that I was referencing about 25 minutes ago was the band was the Fiery Furnaces, and I couldn't think of it. The album was called Blueberry Boat, and the song was called Keeker. We're not going to do it on this because it's a 10-minute long song, and I don't even think it's that good. It's just an interesting song. But if anyone's curious about what I was trying to pull out of my brain meat, that's what I was talking about earlier.
One more time.
It is
their
Kiker. Or Kaker. I don't know. My cats are fighting in the background. I apologize if you can hear the snarling. Kiker by the Fiery Furnaces off their 2004 album Blueberry Boat.
I did not hear the cats snarling by Mike. I think I heard some scuffling, like I could hear like the running.
Yes.
No loud angry cat noises, just scuffling cat noises.
Yes, sibling rivalry. It happens.
With cats always. They gotta say who's who, you know? We get it.
That's right. Well, now that you shouted out all the social medias, and I believe both of our closing thoughts have been completed in conclusion.
Absolutely they have.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you doing all those things that we asked you to do, hopefully. And join us next time for whatever we dig up next. Goodbye.
And I'm the same way. I try to make sure that I don't do any noise on my end until I know that I'm done talking.
Bro,
So that
my
at
microphone
the very
is so
least.
fucking sensitive that I can hear myself breathe, and it grosses me out. Like I mute myself so much in editing because I can hear my gross mouth breathing, and I'm like, oh no.
I'm smarter than this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
God, I'm watching the plosives on the waveform here, and I'm so sorry to our listeners. Just bubbly, popping, poo,
We're back on the ASMR stuff again, and I thought we were never gonna go back there.
It's always gonna come back.
Damn it. Also, I forgot to call you out for having a comb with you that day. Did you?
Dude,
did you
I
just
have
happen-
long, flowing hair. I comb my hair almost obsessively, so yes, there is a comb near me at all times.
All right, fair enough. Because it was way too smooth when you were just like, yeah, they'll just pull out a comb, and you're just like, "Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, come on now.
My hair is down past my shoulders. I need to keep it neat.
I was afraid that you were secretly doing ASMR videos, and I was talking badly about you.
Yeah, no. Not yet, at least. Get on that Patreon tip, though. Top tier. I'll do ASMR for you guys.
Look at that, selling yourself already. Damn.
Yeah, we haven't even released an episode